Hello, everyone. I'm greeting everyone. How you guys doing? Yeah, Mama Tuzi, send your request in. Mama Tuzi, Barrister Bisiriyu, and Omolara Svensson. Where are you guys? We just have 2 more weeks to the elections. I think we have this week, and we have 2 more weeks. 21, is it 20 days or 19 days or 18 days? It's 20 days. Oh yeah, where are my co-speakers? Where are you people today? Hey, Wahala. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Praise God.
My phone was just acting the I kept trying to request and it wasn't going through. So that's why. Sorry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming for last week. It's been a week, no need.
Yeah, it's 1 week.
Yes.
It's 1 week. It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
how are you doing now? Birthday lady, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still tired. I'm still recovering, but I'm here.
I can imagine. We haven't had you on the program in about 2 weeks.
2-3 weeks.
3 weeks now. Wow. Why now?
I think the last time I was on was about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks.
Last week you were not in. 2 weeks ago you were not in. I'm like, what is going on?
Yes, it's true.
I was looking at the viewership, and our viewership is climbing up.
Yeah, well, at least we have after today we have 2 more weeks. I'll be before election.
Yes. So our viewership I noticed it. I noticed over 100% jump from 2 weeks ago, last week. I was like, what is going on?
That's good.
Or maybe it's but then I looked through the comment section and I saw that on YouTube anyway, that's what I mean. And then in the comment section I saw what's it called? Some opposing team opposing so people that are supporting a different candidates. I saw comments.
Okay.
I was like, okay, interesting. It's like, hey, yeah.
Interesting times.
I was like,
it's okay. Yeah. You can't stop people from commenting. It's their freedom of speech.
Their comments because we need opposing views to build a society. That is what a lot of people do not understand. You need opposing views to build a society. You need to hear from person A, person B, person C, person D. Bring all of those ideas and thought processes together, and then now say, okay, this is how we build the nation. This is how we build the community. That's how we do it.
At the end of the day, we are all learning and we are all trying to. We want something better for Nigeria. We want Nigeria to be good, and it's quite sad that I know we all get emotional because I still remember my breakdown on that phrase. But we all get emotional, and when we feel pushed, we want to push back. But if we are all talking over each other, nobody's going to hear themselves. We all have a point. If the main point is we want Nigeria to move forward. We want something great for Nigeria. It's just our approach that is different. And it would be nice if we can respect one another's opinion and not try to force your own opinion on me. You need to listen to me. So if we don't agree, we can always agree to disagree. So, but I hope after the election, we can move forward together.
I don't think after the election we can move forward together, because I feel that the other parties would detract even more if there's such a word as
well, it is now the responsibility of the citizens to want to move forward. People need to understand that politics is always going to be politics. Politicians are always going to be politicians. There will always be opposing sides. But you as a citizen, except you have a party affiliation that you can say, well, I'm loyal to my party. When do we draw the line between having loyalty to your country and loyalty to your party? I always say something here in the US, like, just because I'm an independent voter, but I lean more Democratic. But that doesn't mean that if Democrats decide to bring some kind of candidate that is like Trump now, that I will now say, because, I'd like to vote for Democrat, I will vote for that person. No, at the end of the day, you want to pick something that you believe in your heart that this person is good for your nation. And you believe that I want to move forward. If we keep bickering and everything, then guess what? We all get blind and get distracted. And when there's distraction, we get deviated from the journey. It's the journey that matters. If somebody is not doing right, I'm not going to support a candidate that nobody can criticize. You know, my cousins will say, oh, you don't want us to talk about Buhari. I said, no, that's actually far from it. I criticize them. And the thing is, I just want constructive criticism. You can criticize all you want, but at the same time, when you see something that is actually positive, we need to also learn to appreciate positive. Because, you know, you sent me something earlier today about the customs, that they intercepted $6 million fake dollar notes, and they offered the custom officers money and they rejected it. Of course, I was looking through the comments and it was quite sad, you know, because people didn't see the positivity. Because the thing is, we cannot just say, oh, everybody in customs is bad. My father, both parents were civil servants. My late dad was Oga at PEF. So it's not like I didn't have parents that were close to this thing. As a matter of fact, as sad as it is, you know, when my dad was buried and some people from NMPC, PEF, they came and they were like, this is Oga's house. Because they were expecting to come into some kind of estate because of his position at work. My dad never lived his life like that. And I would not want somebody to say, oh, everybody is like this. So when you see people commenting and say, oh, the only reason the customs didn't let this go through is because the 150 is only 150 they offered them now, not 1 million. That is not okay. We are not encouraging people. Just okay, US here, I know I'm a black woman and I know I tend to be profiled because I'm black, because of the color of my skin. But guess what? I still donate to police department every year. My husband, they will call him, okay, Mr. Igbalajobi, this year you've not sent our body this thing. And we still do that. Not because, just because one cop is a bad cop doesn't mean that all cops are bad. I've interacted with police officers in Nigeria before, and I know that there are good ones and there are bad ones. So we need to learn to appreciate our society, even our military. They are bad military. I've been attacked in Nigeria by our military officers before, while he was at the same time telling my dad, but still attacking me at the same time, respecting my father, you know. But you need to know, I cannot judge the whole military installations in Nigeria because of those people, because the way they acted. I can't judge them. I need to appreciate them, because if those people are not there, who are you ready to go defend Nigeria? I am not ready to be a military person. I don't want to carry gun. I don't want to face Boko Haram. I don't want to face kidnappers. These people are doing it, whether they are doing 100% or doing 80%. You don't want to face or how you swap. I'm not ready to.
You don't want to face on no government. So you cannot ready to be.
Exactly. You know, I told I'm only telling my mom. I said, you know, will you let Jide go and join military? She said, which means you have just one, what's it called, the charcoal to light your fire. You won't go and be walking next to river bank, because you can drop it and it falls. And you see, that's the thing. We all have that, but we have these people fighting with no equipment and all that, and they're still doing their best. But then we never appreciate them. Never. Nigerians don't know how to appreciate anybody, and that is including myself. We don't really appreciate, and we need to learn. And that's why I said, after this election, I hope with the energy that we put into supporting candidates and all that, I hope we'll put this energy at the same time into nation building, because when we have our friends, our uncles and aunties in banks hiding naira notes, when Nigerians queuing and collapsing on the queue. That there's nothing as evil, as monstrous as that. That is a monstrous thing to do. And I have family members working in the bank. And the truth is, I am ashamed of Nigerian banks, because we've been seeing videos now that they actually have money in that room, and they locked it up there. And we have someone that actually collapsed and passed out on the queue. That is not okay. Those are Nigerians. That's not Buhari. That is not anybody. That is your home friends. That's your auntie. That's your uncle. That's your friends. That's your husband. That's your wife. They are there. They know what's going on. And none of those banking officers could say, I want to be a whistleblower and say, excuse me, my branch is hiding money. None of them is doing that. We need to learn as a nation. So that's my speech to wake up.
I let you talk because we have missed you for like 2-3 weeks now. So we'll just let you get everything out of your chest.
I had to.
Everything that you want.
I've been hiding it.
Get it out of your chest. No problem, no wahala. So now, let us start today's program. For some reason, Barrister Bisiriu is not here. Normally, he's always here. For some reason, because I've been sending messages and it's not been responding. But the show must go on. Now, today we're going to be speaking on social programs, and I'm glad that you're here. I'll have loved for Molara to be here also, because she is a direct stakeholder when it comes to social programs.
Social programs.
But I just want to say something that I just want to talk about some of the concerns that you raised. You know, you raised some concerns about our behaviors as Nigerians, and how that has to change if we want a better Nigeria. Because we can always scream and yell, government, government, government. But remember, our government did not come from Mars. They are from Nigerians like you and I. And with this money, currency swap, debacle, like we can see what is going on. Nigerians are selling the Naira to other Nigerians.
Yes.
Nigerians charging Nigerians exorbitant prices. You can see the behavior of Nigerians. You can see banks hiding money. You know, you see somebody, there was a lady that was apprehended, and when she was apprehended, some people in the comment section were saying, hey, they should free her, she's helping people. People that can't get it. And then people were like, are you understanding what you are saying? But she was really, really defensive. I wanted to like reach out to her, like, hey, like send her a direct message, like, hey, it seems like you don't understand that this is called racketeering, currency racketeering.
Yes.
Understand what that means? Like, you know, I understand how you feel, but this is actually a crime. So stop saying these things. You know, and we talk about the, you know, oil issue, the current fuel scarcity. There's a big debacle around it, and also the Moody ratings, for example, our credit ratings, and why we need Ashwadi, because our Moody ratings have been downgraded. Our Standard and Poor's ratings have been downgraded, and our Fitch ratings has been downgraded. They have now included our banks to it, also have been downgraded. So we are in serious trouble now if we want to go and borrow money. Our bonds are getting cheaper, and the interest rates are going higher because they go at separate places, separate directions. You know, so, you know, maybe some other time we'll be able to talk about it. But today we're talking about social programs. And basically, with social programs, the current Buhari administration has a couple of those programs in place. Programs such as the Social Investment Program, the NSIP. They have the Conditional Cash Transfer. They have the Government Enterprise and Empowerment, Homegrown School Feeding Services. They have Empower. They have Anchor Borrowers Program. They have there's another one. There's this Shopee. Is it? No, not Shopee. Shopee was them. Jonathan's time. There's another one again. But the Buhari administration created a lot of these programs, and the Ashwadi administration is looking at how can
conditional cash transfer,
yes,
and all of those ones that they do, but only if you have
so it is how can we improve that? What can we do to improve that? What is Ashwadi saying when it comes to social programs? So, as usual, I will read excerpts, and please, you can, you know, chime in one or two. And it starts by this. The social programs initiated by the Buhari administration, like cash transfers to the poorest, school feeding and economic empowerment programs, illustrate the spirit of progressive governance. The regressive elite and powerful entrenched interests argue that such programs could not or should not be established. Thankfully, the administration did not adhere to the narrow view of this vested interest. As a result, millions of people have been pulled from abject poverty. Apart from the material assistance, they have been given hope for a better life. A Tinubu government will expand existing programs and introduce new social investment policies to create jobs and business opportunities, particularly for youth and women. So now, let's talk about the social welfare program. I think I called a couple of social welfare programs. I spoke on the SEEP, the CCT, the school feeding program, government enterprise, Empower, Anchor Borrowers program. But then I want to talk about what the Asiwaju administration is saying that we are going to do in addition to that. And for everyone, like I always say at the beginning of the program, this is the Renewed Hope 2023. This is an 80-page manifesto that talks about all of Asiwaju's plans for Nigerians come 2023 should he be elected as president. And what we do here is we explain the 80-page manifesto because we know that not a whole lot of us would have the time to really sit down and read. So here what we do is we kind of like explain. We look at certain parts of the manifesto and explain what it actually entails. To the best of our understanding anyway. We are not saying that, yes, we are the professionals or we are the experts, to the best of our understanding, because if you have been following us, we've been talking about all of these things even before the Asiwaju administration came out with the manifesto. So we've already been talking about it. So now it just makes our work or our jobs easier by kind of like breaking it down, then we can really chime in one or two. So now, let us talk about the things that Asiwaju said he will do when it comes to social welfare programs. It says provide conditional income support to very poor households. In exchange, recipients will be required to meet key human capital development goals like school attendance, healthcare, and nutrition. So now, you're going to talk about that now, but I just want to chime something in here. When we look at countries that we want to live in, for example, this country is doing good or this country is not doing so good, you look at what is called the Human Development Capital or Human Development Index ratings. And you look at what countries rank the best or what countries rank the worst. And when you look at Human Development Index, you're looking at education, you're looking at healthcare, and you're looking at standard of living. And you can see in this first statement here, it talks about school attendance, which is education, healthcare, which is healthcare, and nutrition also. Nutrition is also a part of healthcare also. And nutrition also, if you are eating good, that means your standard of living is pretty decent. You cannot have a good standard of living and be eating bad for the most part. So, Yetunde, what do you have to say as regards providing conditional... hold on. Let me read the second and the third one so you can address all three of them. Provide unconditional income support to elderly, extremely poor, and disabled persons. Lastly, create new job opportunities for young Nigerians from poor and underprivileged backgrounds. So social investment programs, it looks like what in the Western world you call maybe benefits, right?
Yeah.
Something similar. So
like
what is your take on what
Asiwaju
is saying is going to do here, please? The floor is yours.
Okay. First off, let me quickly say something because you mentioned that Nigeria's credit ratings and all that. Though I'm not actually surprised because also a lot of the ratings tend to be biased when they are doing the analysis of African countries.
Absolutely.
Just let's get that straight. And of course, I'm also optimistic because IMF actually have a better projection for our economic growth for 2023. They actually moved it up. So I'm going to continue to remain optimistic. I know that we have challenges that we are already working on and trying to fix. I hope that whoever comes in, hopefully is going to be Asiwaju that actually knows what he's doing when it comes to economic stuff. will be able to help us navigate better. What can we do in the short term to fix this, in the medium term and in the long term, so we don't have a repeat of this chaos that is happening when it comes to economic stability and financial stability of Nigeria. So now moving to our topic of today, which is the social programs. You know, I was trying to sleep earlier and I was like, let me sleep before Bongoli time, so I would now wake up. I couldn't because I have that problem. If I have something on my mind, that's what I'm going to. My mind is always racing and thinking of something. And I just had to tie it. I had to tie it to this chaos that is happening now when we're talking about banking system. And I'm thinking in my head, even with all this, we've always had some kind of form of social investment that government wants to do. But how do we prevent people actually taking advantage of this and the people that need it don't get it? First thing, I know that we want a capitalist society. Of course, we want capitalist society, but the best society that even studies support, which Ashwaju is proposing for us, is welfare capitalism. That is welfare capitalism. So it's capitalism with some form of social welfare. Because we do know that capitalism can increase unemployment, it can cause wealth inequality in wealth distribution and power. We know that it can cause social inequalities. We know a lot of things. Actually, all of this ties to healthcare. Healthy people in your community, your society, that can actually contribute positively to your economic growth. If you don't have healthy people, you can't do that. So we do need this social investment. Talk about giving people money, not just giving them money, because even in America, I don't qualify for any money, but people that really need it. Think about it. Buhari administration started let me start with the food program. This was something that was started under Asiwaju's governorship administration in Lagos State, in partnership with NESO and Cadbury. They were actually giving students, kids in our primary school, they were giving them food. Cadbury and Nestle were giving them milk because studies support that kids need that. They need the milk and everything. Asiwaju's administration in 2002 did that in Lagos before it went national when APC government took over in 2015. Even with people saying, oh, no, they don't need it. It's waste of money. But have we ever thought about how many kids don't eat anything until they get to school? That is the only meal of the day for them. Because even in America that you are claiming to want to be, the Sena Klein, a lot of kids, the only meal they get a day is what they get in school for free, not from home. And it was quite obvious during COVID because they actually had programs to continue for families like that to go to food banks so they can pick up food that they can feed the kids. So these are necessary things. When you talk about doing cash transfers to people that are poor, like I have family members that qualify for that. But you know what? They didn't get it. And I'm sure somebody in government is probably getting that money and claiming that they enrolled people. So even with good intentions, our government also have to come up with a way to make sure to safeguard people that don't deserve this, applying for it and qualifying for it. But we need it. If we have a welfare system in place that can give people extra income to supplement the income, not just for free, but maybe you're working, but you are at minimum wage standard and your household is more. So which is that minimum wage is not enough for your household, they can supplement it. But it's not like you're just sitting around smoking igbo somewhere and you're expecting government to be giving you money. No, even food stamps can be given out. In America, that is a form of benefit. Not everybody gets cash. A lot of people just get food stamp, which is just a card that you can use to buy groceries. And per month, they can put $200. There are so many factors they put into play. So when you talk, because I know that the other candidates are always talking about capitalism, but are they factoring in the fact that a lot of Nigerians don't even have the financial capacity to survive under complete, total capitalist society? Even America is not complete capital. They want us to be capitalism, but they still have social welfare to some extent. Not like Britain or Canada now, for example. They will have more. So that is what Ashwaju is proposing. We need a welfare capitalism that government also can supplement certain group of people and help them, empower them so they can move from certain categories and move to a more productive category that can contribute to the economic prosperity of Nigeria, which I completely support, since frankly, actually scientific data to support it, the implications of all of this. And if he can do it, I know we are questioning where is the money coming from. We are already in $77 trillion naira debt. Where is the money going to come from? Well, some things needs to be cut. Maybe our leaders in Congress might need to make some adjustments to their money to cut some things. And then even with that, a lot of things can be done because they get constituency money. What about we divert that constituency money into actually spending it on the constituents?
Okay.
So
now let me say something here. According to the before I even say that, good afternoon, Barrister Bisiriyu.
Good afternoon. My apologies to the team. I fell asleep on my couch after watching Tottenham beat Man City, giving us now its well-earned 5 points gap. So I was just relaxing. So when I look at my well, oh no! I just ran upstairs to get into my study.
No problem. It's a hangover from yesterday at Goodison Park. So I understand.
I agree. No argument there.
You are forgiving.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, man.
You're welcome.
How you doing today?
I'm great.
Let's go back. She was already in the group. Let's go back. We're already rolling. Okay. Now, let's talk about our. You talk about where we get the funding from. I talked about Nigeria's debt. I want to clear something. Now, as regards our legislature, their total budget in 2023 is 329 billion.
Yes.
And that is about, I think, 1.5% of the total budget. Because their money is in statutory allocation. And I think statutory allocation in 2023 budget is about 950 something billion or something like that, less than a trillion. So I think that we may have to look at some other places to cut. But I understand what you're saying because
there are places to be cut though in government spending.
That's what I wanted to say now. For example, a federal rep earns about 12 million naira in Nigeria according to 2023 budget. So what are they using that money for? While a senator is earning about 25 million naira per month. What are they using that money for?
Per month?
Per month.
That's outrageous.
Per month. I think it's per month. I think it cannot be 12 million naira per year.
No, it's per
so
month.
That means 1 million.
It's per month. And that is besides the constituency money that they collect.
It's a total package that has to do with constituency and their staff and how many people have and all.
Okay, so now my question is that and I don't want us to deviate from our actual topic of social programs. Why I said they're cut is that because if even in America they get the money to open offices in their constituents and pay their staffs and all that. Except I don't know. My own repo, I'm word of him. Where is the office in Amword? Who are the staff working for him in his office?
They fought me because of Ogene today. They fought me today. My own rep, my federal rep is Honorable Ogene from PDP. They fought me today. They have insulted me today now. But that's on this. So that's some other things that I face outside of this program. Yeah, where political matters in my community is ongoing. So now that we have talked about that, then let me talk about our debts. Because when you say 77 trillion naira, people are like, oh my God, this is how much Buhari has borrowed or wanted. That's how much we earn. But remember, that 77 trillion, I want to convert it back to dollars. Because when the Jonathan administration came in on board, Nigeria was owing $30 billion. When Jonathan administration left, Nigeria was owing $64 billion. So that means Jonathan borrowed Jonathan's regime period, because in that money, you have to add state. State is also in that money.
Yes.
In that money, there is external and internal debts. Like external money that they went to borrow from IMF, from Exim Bank, from Paris Club and all that. Then internal from CBN, from our pension. So people that are receiving pension money, they are borrowing pension money. You know, so you have to factor in all of that. Then in the Buhari administration, Buhari has only borrowed $38 billion.
That's true. That is true.
of December 2022, Buhari has only borrowed 38 billion. So when I calculate it with Jonathan borrowed over 110% of our debts, while Buhari has only borrowed 60% of our debts. But if they want to now talk, they will not say trillion, they will make it big and all of that. So that is not the true story at all.
Yes.
And Buhari, in fact, we can see that with that money he borrowed, you can see the infrastructure that he has put in place. Now, when that infrastructure turn into revenue, now that's a different conversation. Is this particular, are this the particular infrastructure that we need at this particular time to push our revenue? That is another conversation on its own that we can critique for and or against. But I just wanted to make this clear for everyone that is listening to us and watching.
Of course, yeah. I'm glad that you clarified that. And yes, like you said, what the money was borrowed for, debt is not the problem. It's as far as you borrow debt that can repay itself, which is what Ashwaju is proposing. Like no debt will be collected.
But you still need, and that is why Ashwaju said, I'm going to build on Buhari's legacy.
Yes.
Because you still need those infrastructure that Buhari is putting in place.
Plain
is needed.
Simple. No infrastructure, no investment, because there's no investor that is going to come into a country that don't have good logistics to transport their goods from the manufacturing plant to wherever the place it needs to be. Period. As that. Electricity, road networks, all those things are you need it. And I'm glad that this administration is actually doing it when it comes to the roads and all that. They are putting that money there. We need to stop. We need our people to stop stealing the train tracks and letting our train derail. We need to make that money back and pay for that train. So we can't be doing all that nonsense.
What they will show you in the news is the train has derailed, because last week there were 2 train derailments.
Yes.
But what the news will not tell you is that our own people are going there to go and be removing the rail tracks. They will not tell you that one in the news.
In my opinion, I think the problem of stealing is not the act of stealing itself. It is the profit of stealing. So who are those buying the metals? If the government can take out those buying it, it makes the stealing almost non-important. It nullifies the benefit that comes from taking the risk to go pull it out. So if you trace who buys this thing, do they melt it? You trace where they take it to. If they investigate that and they put all those guys in jail, there is no one to sell the train tracks to. And then you can now start moving from who is buying to who is selling, and then who is paying for the logistic to steal. Because poor people can't just go into one bush and go remove all those. Someone somewhere, a rich person, is managing that cabal of thieves and giving them the resources necessary. So I don't think that the solution to that is attacking the thieves themselves. It is actually finding who profits.
And again, like, I guess that's also the consequence of poverty. And hopefully, just because you give people money doesn't mean that the whole society will now be all of a sudden like saints that can't steal. But it can at least reduce the propensity for doing criminal acts if you have some kind of support.
So moving forward, social investment programs. Don't worry, Barrister BC, because of the time that you joined us, all the questions that they will ask, you'll be the one that will be answering them.
Am I a social program expert? I'll do my best. I got
that's the whole idea, so that you wrap your brain very well, sir. I'll be like, this is not my expertise, but okay. So, hey, that's the punishment. All right, sir. That's your fine, sir.
Okay.
Moving forward, let's talk about social investment programs. Now, with the social investment programs, Achwaju is saying introduce new SIPs supporting the development of MSMEs, which are micro, small, and medium enterprises, especially amongst the poor. These investment programs will improve business productivity, widen access to affordable finance and capital markets, and expand businesses such that beneficiaries can offer employment to others. Recipients shall also receive high-quality, low-cost business development support services. These programs and initiatives will give priority access to persons with disabilities, women, and young people. We will partner with existing industry players, many of whom, through their use of cutting-edge fintech products, have already created phenomenal success with little to no government support to expand access to capital for MSMEs across Nigeria, across the country. Now, what I've read basically here is I want to support small businesses.
Yeah.
I have forgotten the numbers, how MSMEs are being graded now, like micro, small, and medium. I forgot the employment bracket now from top of my head. But what it's actually saying is we want to support our MSMEs. We want to make sure that they get the right capital. We want to make sure that they get the right training. We want to make sure that they get the right support. So, Yetuni, what are your take? What do you think that Ashwaji is really saying he wants to achieve with this? How is he going to do it? Because he also says that it would involve investors that are current industry players. So they are localized investors that is also going to partner with.
Of course.
So now I'm looking at how will competition and all of that be addressed? Because if I'm bringing somebody in the industry to come and support micro, small, and medium enterprises, wouldn't these people be taking my business in a small scale?
No.
Because these people might be opening. Yeah, I'm coming. Let me land here because these are questions that people might ask. Because me as a small business owner, I can open my small shop or my small kiosk in front there. Government is supporting me. Even one of the big companies in Nigeria is even supporting me, giving me goods and all that, or big company or whatever it is. So why would I go there, go to the main one or the big one, if I can just come to this small one and patronize them? So what is your take on that? Oh, she's rolling. Oh, she's back.
Well,
so go
okay, can you hear me? Okay. Well,
yes,
you know, the social investment actually is just so that we can get some, it's more of putting finance there to help with productivity, to, what will I say, to optimize human capital productivity, to just help to turn our citizens into contributors to the economy. That is the whole idea. So when he says that he's bringing investors, he's not saying, okay, you want investors. No, it's just going to create their environment, partner with industry leaders, help them formulate policies that will make investors be willing and interested in being part of this. Because instead of, like, for example, instead of investors putting money in alcohol production or gambling or something like that, now you want them to do something that has to do with maybe environmental causes, like for environmental sustainability stuff. If there are businesses in that area, maybe you want investors to go there. But you do need policies. So when he's talking about bringing, government can't do everything. We don't have money to give all SMEs. We don't. But, you know, it reminds me of one of his birthday program that he always does that. He was talking to, what's the name of this guy? He's colloquium, yes. He was talking about credits, and he was talking to, what's his name? Jimovia. Yeah, you better be, Jimovia, you better listen now. I'm giving you business. It's just something like that. Because imagine that happening, opening up our credit system, and our SMEs have the opportunity to do this. Maybe it's something that can be backed through government, whatever government bonds or whatever, government can back it. So it's not going to be like, I'm risking it, what do I stand to gain? So it's not going to bring one person, Jimovia, to now be like, okay, you're the only one. So there will still be competition. The competition is not really coming from the investor. The competition is coming from businesses that will be created the businesses that will be more productive, they can scale because there will be scalability. They can scale now because they have money to scale. So that's where the competition will come, and the competition also will drive. Imagine getting more investors in rice farming. Of course, our rice, I will expect the rice price to decrease significantly. So we need investors in those areas. We cannot continue to rely on government doing everything. And I believe that's what he's talking about.
Okay, so now let me now go to Barrister Bisiri, because I established like a narrative like 2 weeks ago. I think, was it 2 weeks ago or last week, when we talked about the judiciary reforms? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I think.
And also last week, where I said that we have all of these beautiful ideas, beautiful propositions, but if we do not get the policies right, writing the policies, we will definitely falter. So that is where you come in here now. Now with this social investment programs, because Yetunde said, you know, putting the right policies in place. So what kind of policies do you think Asiwaju is proposing in this social investment programs, the new ones that is bringing in to support the micro, small, and medium enterprises?
Thank you. So looking at the way this is worded, I think the second paragraph started with these investment programs will improve business productivity, widen access to affordable finance and capital markets, and expand businesses such that beneficiaries can offer employment to others. Then I think the biggest part of it is the recipients shall receive high-quality, low-cost business development support services. I think that is the key, because most people do their business for subsistence purposes. That is to feed their family, and that is it. And you see somebody, you know, I did a couple of empowerment for some women in my locality in Ogun State, and most of those women, they want to, we ask them for like, what is the idea? What business have you been doing? And what do you need support for? And they come up with how they want to work about it and all that. And at the end of it, I see that what they need is something to keep them eating every day. Now, I also got involved with some farmers, a lot of them, and I invested in some kind of empowerment farming. You know, I went with them, and they came with a good plan. I read the plan, the proposal was good and all that. So I gave them some millions to make that happen. But they failed to produce what we agreed on. And, you know, normally other people will say, oh, take them to police station. No. So what I did, I had to call them. You know, they were sorry and all that. They said, what went wrong? And I realized that they were trying to do a business plantation in a subsistence way. You know, they are farmers that actually, they know when those crops will get to maturity, how many months, they know, but they don't know certain technicalities about when is the right time to put fertilizer. You know, like like a project management style to it. So which fertilizer is good at this particular time in the month? Which one is not good at this time? On the 11th week, which one should you apply? What is the weeding procedure to keep the plant survival longevity very accurate? And there are other things. So by the time I got involved with an agri-business specialist, he showed me what they would have done right, and the millions we put in it would have yielded more than about another tens of millions if they had just done certain things, which comes to the high quality, low cost business development support services. If they have some of these ideas on a policy level, where you have, maybe they have a board at a regional level, where you have some of these experts available, each of the, you know, the small business in that area, they have some people that work in that area that will give them some advice on how many land do you, how large is your land? So this is how much you can get out of a castor oil production for 2 acres. And this is where you should start. So they form something for them. They give them like a couple of, they start with them, and they have maybe one professional walk through a particular area, advise the farmers on that. So by the time it is ready, you have less loss, you have more, and then the investors in castor will know that they have a reliable source of raw material from this set of farmers. And the farmers get their money, those ones get their seeds, and they go turn it into investment and they take it out.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be, I think the policy should be in the area of regional, identifying what particular regions are doing in terms of small business. What do they create? Adire? Do they create Adire? Do they create Kampala? Do they create, are they major farmers and all that? And then you break that, and I just missed
monopoly you are looking for. Is it the word monopoly? Or
no.
Is it monopoly you are looking for?
So you have departments in that why did I miss that? So you know, when you have regional bodies, I'm talking about the bodies. You break those bodies into what is necessary in that region. And then you have experts. You employ experts into those departments, and those experts go out there. They give, so then they link with banks. So when you have your proposal, you go to the bank. The bank tells you, okay, this is how much we can give you. You come back to the body. The body says, okay, this is how best we can do it. They give you like they say, okay, we agree that this man's proposal can work. It goes back to that, it gets the money. They break it into how the bank can give it to them. I noticed that when I give them bulk, they will go and feed their family first before they start the work. So when I break it down that, okay, come and get, okay, what do you want to? We want to plow. How much is plowing? They say this is okay, plowing for 2 weeks. Take the money for plowing. They finish plowing. They take pictures. They tell me, okay, plowing is done. Okay, what's the next thing? Fertilizer. So when you break it down that way, you get them working, then they also achieve their aim. But if you give them the bulk, because they are mostly poor people, they want to first pay the arrears of rent and pay the hair and all that, and then they can't.
No, let me stop you here now, because now we're talking about policies and all of that, and you open it's a serious conversation here. The Anchor Borrowers Program, because these are part of the failure. One of the, I won't use the word failure here because it worked because
challenges.
These are the sabotaging of that program. Because like you rightfully said now, when you get that money in bulk, it was alleged that some people or some of our farmers use that money to go and marry third wife, fourth wife, fifth wife. When they got that money. No, it's not funny. It's true. It's not funny. It's true.
No, but that's the truth. Unfortunately.
They are owing CBN, even though CBN shouldn't have business with supporting Anchor Borrowers Program or providing that money anyway. That's another conversation for another day. They are owing CBN 840 billion naira, almost 900 billion naira. They are owing CBN, so they can't pay back.
So here, what we do, we call that in America here, is part of some of the things I do. It's called contract administration. Even after, so it's post-award administration. So we have what we call CORE, Contracting Officers Representative. So this particular person is in charge of seeing that the contractor follows everything that he has in his proposal to achieve the delivery of the contract. So if the government gives you a contract for 1 billion, you say you're going to do it, we have a core that we attach to that contract, and we tell the core that you are the one that will be monitoring whether they come and do it on time, they go to work on time, and once they reach a milestone, you report to the contracting officer. The contracting officer reports and puts it and documents it, so that when the contractor fails, we have reasons why it fails. They have some other consequences for failing. What I believe those anchor borrowers did not have people to enforce those things and
Enforcement.
have like a representative of the government. You know, they are going to maybe get some bribe here and there, but by and large, they will make sure that because it goes on their own resume too. It goes on whether they get promoted or not. So they will force they will tell Mr. Ajanle Cocoa farmer, look, I've been to your farm today. No one is working there. I am writing a report and I'm saying, so before you know it, once they know that he's going to come and he's going to write report, he's going to take pictures, and you are required to take pictures and send it as part of your report. They will make things happen. So if you have to first start with treating them like a child, I'm telling you it works. Once they know that this is how it's going to happen, they will make it happen, as long as they know that they are supported to sell the product at the end. Because they don't want to do all the work at the beginning, and towards the end, you now have some buyers, some business people that will come and say, this is your cassava. We can't, although we agreed at the beginning that we buy it for 200 naira per tuber or by weight or something. They say, no, now we said we buy it for 50 naira. And the man is already calculating. He has worked on it. He has put all his wives and all the new wives worked on that farm. The children have worked on that farm. Everybody has done their job to make it happen. And then somebody wants to take advantage of them. So that's where all these regional bodies.
Hold on. There are two things that have entered my, because we have to move on for the next to the next side, to the next section. There are two things that got into my head. The first one is you talked about enforcing contracts, and that is part of ease of doing business. One of the requirements, because when you look at requirements in ease of doing business, you have to look at ease of starting up a business. You have to look at ease of getting construction permits. You have to look at the ease of registering property. And you also have to look at the enforcing contract. So that is something that really needs to be looked into, enforcing those contracts. Now, the second thing...
let me quickly say something. Okay, finish your thought.
No. That's the first one. Then the second one is, what did you talk about? I forgot that chain of thought. You made me forget that chain of thought. It was a good point. There was something you said, sir, that because commodity boards. Remember when we were talking about agriculture? Remember when we were talking about agriculture?
Yeah, that was what I was looking for in my head.
The commodity board will protect those farmers from being
and I already has a plan for that already. You know, so it's just about breaking it down to the point where a grassroots person will benefit from it. And when it is regional, it does not have this federal government oversight. It is regional, because we know that in Southwest they make this, they make this, they make that. So in the East, they know what they make too, whether it's yam, whether it's this, whether it's that. In the South, you know, when it's regional, it is so narrow that it is efficient. But when it's so broad, because we have different types of ethnic people that are specialists at different things, and you put it at the federal level, it doesn't work. And you have stakeholders that want to sabotage. You have stakeholders that want to be corrupt and all that. When it's too big, it makes it impossible. When it's narrowed down, you knock it off.
Yes, we are going to speak. But before you do, I also want us to link this to the National Industrial Plan. Even though the National Industrial Plan is on a big scale, but look at how Ashiwaju divided it. In the north, he said we're going to focus on textile industries. In North Central, that's Northwest and Northeast. In North Central, we're going to look at the mineral resources there, the solid minerals, and mine them and exploit in a good way anyway, and refine them. In the Southeast, that's where you're going to have the manufacturing hub of Nigeria, where you're going to have a lot of industries coming there. You have the labor there. You have the technical skill. You have the skills there, like the manual, the labor skills there. You know, but you just have to infuse the technical skills in there. And then in the Southwest, you're looking at making glass through sand. Because we have those kind of sand. I think those sand they are talking about, maybe the ones in Lagos. Maybe I may be right or wrong. But in the Southwest, we have the sand that we use to make glass. So I'm just trying to go in line with what you are saying, sir, as to how all of these things have been broken down. Hold on. So I'm going to go personal. Yesterday you're going to speak. Typically, I don't respond to comments, but I'll respond to this because it may be disrespectful. What's his name? Otumba Benga Ajiyo. I'm going to remove you from this live because you said una no get work. The person speaking, the barrister speaking here, served America, or is serving America. He works for the United States government. He's highly respected in what he does. He's a barrister. He was in the Navy in America, maybe still in the Navy. So I need to correct that. People here are not jobless people. Yetunde speaking here, she works in the medical field here in America. She's doing her MBA at Texas A&M in the Aggies College Station. She has all of this. Who is adding you? I'm kicking you out of this life. She has master's degrees. She's doing very well for herself. And myself, I'm a DJ on the side, yes, but I'm a chemical engineer. So we have work. We're advocating for our principle. And with all due respect, we don't want you here. No, normally I take criticism constructive, but that one just triggered me, and I'm going to remove him from this live. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yetunde, please, what did you ask? Because there's something you wanted to say. I hope I did not.
No, I just wanted to talk about where you said people use the money, they spend it marrying extra wives. I wanted to play. I know. I wanted to play. I want to also play a devil's advocate.
Wait. This is what was reported. It is verifiable. The money that they got from Uncle Bora's program, from CBN, they went to go and marry new wives with it.
I understand that. But think about it like, okay, there are also percentage of people that did that is not up to the percentage that actually were genuinely unable to farm due to insecurity then.
Yeah, that's true.
And what do you expect? If they can't go to farm and they have money in hand, sure they will not eat me. So when we are talking about getting this money back, is a contract, but I think that CBN will have to actually do an analysis of the people that fall into which category to retrieve. Of course, if you go and marry wife, that one is you trying to do more than you can do, more than yourself. You need to cut your coat according to your size. But anyway, that's another story. But like you said, so when it comes to enforcement, also government needs to put certain things in place that will not put the money at risk. So the money can be used for what is meant to be used.
Now that we're even talking about the Anchor Brewers program, for example. Now, let us talk about we as Nigerians, how we are sabotaging that program. Now, the federal government. Now, let me give this right stats so that I can let people know the success. Because we've talked about some of the challenges. Let's talk about the success. So in 2014, when the Jonathan administration were in charge of Nigeria, PDP and all of that stuff, Nigeria was producing 3.5 million metric tons of rice as of 2014, yes. 2015. Nigeria was spending 5 billion naira daily to import rice. Times 300 and how much was it? 5 billion times 365 days. Wow. That is like 100 and 365 times 5, 2. That's 1.25 whatever trillion. 1.2 trillion. And then when you convert it using 400 naira I'll be whatever naira per dollar, then you're looking at $3 to $4 billion.
I think it was like
dollars.
100 and something at that time.
Yeah, so Nigeria was spending between $3 to $4 billion to import rice annually.
Wow. Now,
this is what the Buhari administration in 2020, that $3 to $4 billion went to as low as $20 million. Today, as I'm speaking with you now, we are producing about 8.5, 8.6, 8.7 million metric tons of rice. And our demand is about 7.5. So we have an additional 1.2 million metric tons now that we are able to sell. So from the largest importers of rice in Africa, we have now become the largest exporter of rice in Africa. That is the good side. Now, the saboteurs, they will say, oh, we are making this rice in Nigeria. Why is it that rice is expensive? Now, guys, listen up. When they are giving fertilizer, seeds, and all of these monies at low interest rates, we as Nigerians will go and sell those seeds. They will those seeds because it's in the north that we sell. We have rice farms. They'll give them the seeds, they'll sell it. So inside of Nigeria, we are selling those seeds. And then you go and sell it outside of Nigeria because you want to make more money. Now, the rice itself that you have made, for example, instead of you to sell it inside of Nigeria, you ship it outside of Nigeria to sell because you want to make more money. Now, there is less supply for more demand. And then the price of rice will go up. Fine, I'm not saying that, because cost of production in Nigeria is high. But these are the issues how we self-sabotage ourselves. Now look at the opportunity that this rice revolution has brought to Nigeria, for example. Look at Lagos State. Lagos State is partnering with Kebbi State. In Kebbi State, they are making the rice. In Lagos, they are milling the rice. These are the kind of opportunities that these social programs have brought to Nigeria. However, we as Nigerians ourselves sabotage it. Or for example, when these programs initially started, remember they'll say, local rice has stone in it. Yeah. Local rice is bad.
Yes.
Local rice is bad. Let us go out there and go and buy foreign rice. Now, this is what happened. I think it was someone that was telling me that story. So they've made this local rice ready for sale. They put it in bags, local, whatever. Nigerians were not buying that rice. They say it's local rice. Even though the rice is good rice, so it doesn't have stone, but there was that stigma on that rice. Now, somebody now gave them an idea and said, people should just go and use foreign bag to bag it now. People will remember that rice costs maybe 60 to 70% of foreign rice. So 60%, 65%. So you are going to save 35%. Now, what now happened is they rebagged it and started selling it for the actual price of foreign rice. That rice did not spend one day. All because they rebagged the rice to put a foreign brand on it. And that rice that was maybe supposed to be sold for, let's say, 10,000 naira, foreign rice is 15,000 naira, for example. Now they are selling for 15,000 naira. Now the price has jumped.
Yes.
And it's how this what did you say?
I think we I don't know if you mentioned that the last time or somebody did. So, but I think that those sale tactics that has to conform with the Nigerian mentality is probably only applicable in the mega cities who are familiar with foreign rice and all that. In Abeokuta, where mostly ofada is what they eat, they know it's not America that makes ofada. They know it has to be made in Nigeria. So they don't care about what bag it comes in. They, every time when I stay in my office in Abeokuta, they buy me ofada. Is what I say, look, I don't eat original ofada in America. Let me eat original at home. And it's always available. So my point is that is true. to the extent that those that want to sell it to the Lagos people, Lagos crowd, where they have all this sophistication, they know about iPhone 14 or 16. The last time I went, I just bought my iPhone. I took it there. They said, this is iPhone 14. Which one is the latest? Is it 14 or 16? I don't know. They say it's 14.
14.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm not an iPhone person.
I'm not an Apple person.
I'm not an Apple person, but it's iPhone 14, sure.
Yeah, I say it's just 14. They say it's 14. I got to Abeokuta, they didn't even know what I was carrying. They just know that it's phone. You understand? They didn't even look at it. You see, the difference in how we appreciate products differs from the mega cities and those inland. You understand? And I think that
let me
go on.
I want to challenge you a little bit, Lance. And let me just challenge you.
That's why I just wanted to say that
when
we now have this board of commodity boards, I think most of what they will do is address some of those mentality, in how they support those that can sell Nigerian-made products without having to go rebag it. And those that have to do that at their own expense, and maybe they have some kind of, who knows, maybe they deduct something in their taxes or something, But because the moment they did that, they have diminished the opportunity for the Nigerian-made part of it to be more advertised to the people, for the people to see that and say, this is made in Nigeria. This is really good. It's about the same with Uncle Ben's or something. But you do
know that.
Go ahead. You need to speak, then I was
say
what I want to say.
That you know that I kind of feel like there's really nothing on the government side to do. If they do the policy, if they put policy in place to make programs work and to encourage our farmers and everything. The problem is that we have Nigerians, actually, we are a nation of over 200, about 216 million people. And I can say that maybe at least on the minimum, I think at least 80% of us, and that's me being nice and generous, 80% of us are completely unpatriotic. Simple. We are very unpatriotic. If you buy rice today, what people don't understand is this. If 500,000 people buy rice from company A, and it is your job to help us with quality. If you are giving feedback, like, okay, rice, this rice have a stone, no, these are quality feedback they want. You want the company to grow. I'm always very appreciative of the Hispanic communities in America or the Chinese community. You will never hear them say, oh, this thing, because of that, we are boycotting this thing and going for the white man's this thing. They will give feedback. It's from that they will improve on the process. Even when these don't have stone, our people always have something. So changing that mentality is what will require great effort, because even if government put money in there to help with quality control and everything, how do we get our people to see this product that is made in Lagos, made in Abeokuta, made in Kebbi? How do we get them to see, like, this is your own product, and take pride in your product and give feedback, and we want this company to do better. We are unpatriotic in every facet you can think of. Every aspect of Nigeria is unpatriotic. So we need to work on that. And I don't know how you get that. So maybe
we have two more points to address, but let me just chime this here briefly. I know we are talking about this, social programs, supporting small businesses, agriculture, subsistence farming, commercial farming. It all goes in line. Let me just chime this. It is in Lagos that we have the purchasing power for the most part when you compare it to all other states.
And Abuja.
So Abuja is where it's capital. Lagos is commercial capital. Lagos is Lagos, and the money is in Lagos. The money is going in Abuja. So Lagos State, Abuja, Port Harcourt, these kind of places, for the most part, have maybe the highest purchasing powers. So there we know that they need foreign rice, not the local rice. I can say this, for example, for Lagos. Lagos consumes 50% of the beef in the whole of Nigeria. In small Lagos. Lagos, in Lagos, the kilometer square is 3,500, less than 3,500 kilometer square. Nigeria's total kilometer square is almost 920 something thousand, almost 920 something thousand. So small Lagos is consuming about 50% of the beef. So those people who want that luxury, and Ashwaji already has a plan for luxury. We are going to tax the heck out of you. You want luxury, right? We are going to tax the heck out of you. It's called that import substitution. In that import substitution, in the economic side of that's page 11, from page 11 in the economic plan in the manifesto.
Yeah.
Now,
the
middlemen and the associations, they will not let all these things happen. We are fighting them seriously because they are the ones that are the reasons why food is expensive in Nigeria. They are the ones that are the reasons why many of these programs you are teaching people how to sabotage. But they are the ones that, and that is where the commodity boss will catch them and may end up.
And they are the ones taking out. They are the ones taking the Chinese to our farmers to buy cassava that they export to China and then bring back to Nigeria as gari for us, and then sell it, make it expensive. So
the middlemen, they are the ones. Okay, now let's move forward. This one is going to be a quick one, but then the next one we'll talk a little bit. Then we'll open the floor for questions, and then we'll call it a day. Now, out of school children, I like this one. This one is like a inducement. This one is kind of like like I'm dangling carrot in front of you. I want you to, because you've already alluded to it, Yetunde. You want to go to school, we'll have food for you. And I think it was Barrister Bishop, you that you were talking about. What did you even say? You said it's the only meal that some kids might have in America, for example. So raise to the highest priority the growing problem of out-of-school children. Remember, Nigeria has over 20 million out-of-school children. And in southern Nigeria, according to MICS, under United Nations, 21.3% of those kids in southern Nigeria are from Anambra State. I always say that one. The next one is Bayelsa State. But Anambra State is number one. Out of school children, over 21.3% in southern Nigeria that are not going to school. It's Anambra State. Yes, I said it is a fact. Now, moving forward. Ending this problem will give tens of thousands of children a chance at an education they otherwise will have forgone. This will also reduce the numbers of disaffected youth who may fall prey to recruitment by terrorists and other violent groups. A task force headed by a special SAR will be created to address this problem. They will be tasked with reviewing and strengthening the scope of measures such as the school feeding program established to keep at-risk children in school. What do you have to say to that, Yetunde, quick one, before we enter the development?
I'm actually happy that actually have its own sub-heading separately. That is not mungled up in everything. And it's already alluded to it even in other things when it talks about empowerment and everything for youths and empowerment for women. Because
that's next week's topic. That's next week's topic.
I stumbled upon one live like that MC Oluomo did, and he was talking about he dropped out of school, primary 6. That he dropped out because his mother couldn't afford it. So he's been like he had to be doing bus conductor and everything, and it just makes you think about your own life, like. Majority of us on here, we've been privileged. Our parents might not be Dangote rich, but we've been privileged. And when we live in the city, it's quite easy for us to not even pay attention. We are so unaware of what is going on. A lot of kids in the rural community, they drop out of school, not because their parents don't want them to go to school. It's not because of ignorance or anything, but they have to choose between I need to go and hawk so I can bring money home for the family, and they have to choose. So when you give an opportunity that when it comes back to that giving unconditional money or income supplement money that Ashiraji talked about earlier, and of course the empowering women, when you give all this is available, even giving food in school, you are encouraging these people to say, you know what, I can manage, you go to school, we'll be fine. because they don't have to worry about, oh, this child, only Lati Kirio, she needs to go and hawk this banana before going to school or not go to school at all. Those are things we can do. When we're talking, and we need to also make it more regional. The reason why I said that is this. The problem that is causing out of school children in South is slightly different from what's causing out of school children in the North.
Please explain.
We've argued this. Actually, we've argued this before with my friend's dad, and we were talking about it. And I said, in my opinion, I think we cannot be doing education one size fits all in Nigeria, because we have Almajiri kids. A lot of these kids study with Islamic distance. Is there a way we can incorporate this when we are doing for teaching? For education purposes? There's nothing that says that Western education is the only education that should be accepted. In Middle East, they have their education system that they do, that is, they incorporate all this, both Western and their own this thing into it to integrate it together. So not everybody, because out of school is not just Western education, including technical education too. That is part of the out of school. So we need to be able to say, okay, you know what? Even if you don't want to go to school, you can do technical training, technical this. Those are the things we can do. Empower the family so that these kids can let them know. We need to involve the village heads or the obas and the emirs to help us with this. I know that Emir Sanusi was alluding to something like this, but you know, I love Sanusi. He's a very blunt person. He doesn't know how to sugarcoat things. That's why he's not a politician. So I'm sure if he was somebody that is more diplomatic, would know how to say it to his people and say, we can't keep doing the same thing like this. We can't keep having this many kids and not giving them something, because then they become weapon in the hands of terrorists, kidnappers. They become problem to us as a nation, to even the family of these kids. So we need to do this. These are the things we need to do. Even ordinary... For South, in the South, many of the problem in the South is more of economic empowerment that we need to do. If the household is empowered, you know, a lot of people in Nigeria, millions of people in Nigeria don't have economic or financial empowerment. But when you talk about women, it's even double whammy. So, and we know that even in America, like, for every $1 that a man makes, a woman makes 75 cents. And even out of that 75 cents for women, for every 75 cents that a white woman makes, an Hispanic woman makes 71 cents, a black woman makes 68 cents. So it's not even, this is like issues with women generally. But I like that, as you said, it's going to work on women empowerment, which we'll talk about next week. And if you do that, a lot of mothers, if you're empowering them, they can cater for their family. There's no reason why my 6-year-old should be hawking on the street. No mother, I'm a mother myself, no mother wants to put their kids out there to hawk wares where they can't even see what's going on. They don't know what is going on with their kids and all that. So everything is all tied together. Social empowerment, economic empowerment, financial empowerment will go a long way to keep a lot of our kids out of school. But we cannot, for the love of God, do one size fit all. It is not one size fit all. We need to address it based on region. What is causing the, we need data to back it, of course. What is causing the problem in this area? What is causing the problem in this area? And then we can tailor our policy to address those situations in those areas. And, you know,
Thank you very much. Yeah, quick one, 1 minute. So can get to the last one.
So I did a program during the 2020 coronavirus lockdown and all that. And we got a few young men, teachers that were out of work in Lagos. They were doing what we call unusual school. So what we do is, so I fund them, they go to my areas where my local government area and all that. We find a field. And the first time we did it, we put tents. They put all their screen and all that. And we just put loudspeakers, say children in the area that wants to learn. Because it was during Corona, they were not learning nothing, you know. I'm telling you, we got, on first day alone, we got over 300 children.
Wow.
And the rain was falling. These kids did not go home. They sat there. They said they want to study. I could send pictures so you see. I was amazed. The second day, we had parents bringing on Okada, bringing their children to the sports. You see, it is not, my point is that it's not a desire for people not to want to send their children to school. The economic situation forced some of them to do that.
Yes.
And there's no way we can address all that without addressing how it affects the parent. Now, some of them still hawk, but when they finish the program, they will let them go and hawk.
30 seconds.
So they've learned, but they still do what they want to do at home to support their mother's wares and all that. So my point is that if we are going to provide those foods and those programs, they should do it in a way that the parents will come to school and sign that you are going to make your children available for school. If you don't do that, there are consequences. Now, anything they do after school, I've known of so many people when we were growing up that they have to hawk bread and all that after school, and some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers. They can still do it. You know, I won't say they take that away completely, but don't do it during school hours. So it is now up to the child to decide how best he comes home, do his assignment, go and help his mother in the shop. You know, that sometimes you go to the shop, you see the children doing assignments in the back there in the shop, even though they are selling gari.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
that's what I did. My mom, because my mother was a civil servant, but when I come back from school, my grandma and my auntie, they have shops. They you know, maybe because I grew up around this kind of. So when I come back from school, like I would do my assignment, then my auntie would say, come and go and give this pepper, because she sells pepper. Go and give it to Mama HOD, Awolowo's wife, their house in Okebola. So I will take it. Me, I was just 6 years old. I would take it to their house and drop the pepper in their house, because that's a customer. So, but we'll do our stuff. So things, people want their kids to go to school. In all honesty, most parents want that. But if they cannot afford it, you know.
Because of time, I'm enjoying this conversation. But I want to address one thing, and then we'll go to business development. I want it 5 minutes, and then we can get into question and answer and call it a day. Mr. Piro Official, I see you've been making comments. It's fine. It's okay. We don't have a problem. You said after Lagos, no place in Southwest you can use to compare Anambra State. That is not correct. Wait.
No, I'm not saying anything to me. I've learned to not be saying anything.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's funny, fine, but it's not funny. Mr. Piro Official, on this platform here, we are evidence and factually based. We don't just come here and speak out of emotions. We speak with facts. So I want you to use your Google right now and search 2021 IGI, internally generated revenues of Ebonyi State, plus Anambra State, plus Enugu State, plus Imo State, plus Abia State. The sum total is 101 billion naira in 2021 of internally generated revenue. Now go and look at the internally generated revenue of Ogun State. Ogun State's internally generated revenue was 100 billion naira. So Ogun State internally generated revenue is almost the same, if not the same, as all 5 states of the Southeast. So I hope I have answered you. So we try to speak with facts here. We don't speak with emotions here, okay? So now let's go to business development. Let's talk about business development. So with business development, recognize and stimulate entrepreneurship by introducing programs designed to help today's MSMEs grow in size to become tomorrow's major players. Then we've talked about MSMEs, but there's something very interesting here. We will establish a digital MSME academy to provide continuous learning opportunities for young entrepreneurs, giving them access to experts and advice on global best practices in order to improve their business development through increasing managerial know-how, financial management, and organizational structure. The academy will assist MSMEs acquire the necessary knowledge, advice, skills, and connections to run and grow a business, and we provide educational courses on product development, operations management, accounting, taxation, finance and regulatory obligations, contracts, and marketing. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yetunde, what I got from here, because I'm directing at you, is there's going to be training.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be digitization, so it's going to be online training.
Yes.
How to help build, grow your business on a small scale.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know micro, maybe it's 2 to 5 people. Then one is 5 to 20. Maybe one, it seems like I'm remembering, it's coming to my head small. Then after 20 to 100, you know, after 20 to 100. So after 20 to 100 or whatever it is. So now they're talking about training people. They're talking about teaching them on logistics. Because you also said something, Barrister Bisiriyu, that, okay, yes, they have the skill set to know how to farm, but they are thinking from a subsistence standpoint. Also, they are not putting so many other things into consideration. Yes, we have the skill to farm. We are farmers, but we are just, farming is not just just growing. It's not just growing and then you sell. No, there's a lot that goes in. So now there's going to be digitization, which is educational courses. This is a big one. They should be selling this. They should be selling this when they speak online. This is a big one. Like, we're going to teach you. We're going to have experts that are going to be teaching you. You can be in the comfort of your room with your iPhone. And we that we use Android, that we use Samsung, we'll manage our Samsung JJ and be watching it. So what do you have to say to that, Yetunde, in 2 minutes, and then Barrister Bisiriyu in a minute? Because remember, you are the one that write all these policies for us.
Okay.
Me, I speak for myself, and maybe Yetunde kind of. We might not write the policies. We might not write the regulations, but we will be the ones to say we have to go by this. We work with the regulation.
You are the SMEs, subject matter experts.
And I actually,
that writes the policy. We say this is what we are thinking. Then you write the policies in words. Okay. So we are the ones that are the technical whatever that will bring the technical blah blah blah. So Yetunde, please, your 2 minutes.
And you know, this is, like you said, this is very huge. And if the government do this and they do it effectively, a lot of people, if they are not lazy, because I need to emphasize that, if they are not lazy, will benefit from it. There's a difference between having policies in place or having the mechanism in place to better yourself and do your business well, and you not actually taking advantage of it. And I'm speaking from a position of personal position, as in America, as my husband is a business owner. And to tell you this, you know, when my husband, you know, Bongoli, that I think I mentioned this before, that we have trucking business, right? So some people, some Nigerians, so they will be like, Mr. Benga, I want to buy truck, 18-wheeler. I want to be doing this. You know, my husband is pretty okay. He will tell you everything and teach you and tell you stuff, you know. It is still your responsibility because it's not collecting money from it, even though I said you might as well just go and start a consulting firm and just be a consultant. It will tell you. But you know, Nigerians, we don't take time to learn things we are trying to get into. And that goes back to what Lawyer Bisiriyu was saying earlier. We like to jump into things because, oh, they are making money there. Let me to do it. There's money. You don't understand the intricacies of it. And that is where this academy comes into play. If it's there, it tells you how you hone your own skill. You can have skill. Do you hone it? How do you hone your skill? How do you brand yourself? How do you market yourself? When it comes to taxation, how do you do your tax so that you don't get in trouble for not filing your tax? What is the advantage of you filing your tax? It's better for you to file your tax because you can take that to ask for loans, to scale your business. All those things, your contracts, your obligations, all those things will be there. If they make this available, it will be to everyone's, literally, their benefit, because they themselves as a business owner, they have informed knowledge of what will help their business, what can kill their business, how to go into contracts with other people and all that. You know, Nigerians don't like going into contract with people. They don't like doing it. That's why if you say, I have 10 million, I want to invest in your fashion business, they will be skeptical to do it because they are afraid that the investor, but they don't know that there are actual contracts you can go into that you can protect you from all this thing. So this is good. It just needs to be, the policy needs to be well written and well implemented. Implementation is what is important, and they need to market this. Market. It's not just about saying it or writing it. I trust the Ashwaju administration will do a good job of that. You know, when I think of Ashwaju, I'm always thinking of him. I think of him as
It is PR. Forget. Leave PR to us.
Because when I was looking at all this, when I read this manifesto, because immediately I got my hand on this. I didn't sleep that night. I made sure to finish it. And one thing I noticed about it is writing it from a consultant perspective angle. And I'm not surprised. This is somebody that was his former job. He was a consultant before he went to be a treasurer at Mobile. It was a consultant. And when you are looking at what consulting looks like, they actually write like that. And it's different. And that's why you can look at it and say, okay, these are the recommendations we are making. This is this. But then we'll still defer to experts when the time comes to say, how do we formulate this policy to actually bring this vision, these goals to life, to make it effective? So this is very big, and government paying for it. You don't have to pay for Udemy. Maybe government to subsidize that and partner with Udemy and offer these classes or Coursera, all these things. And
1 minute to the person that write the policy. 1 minute, so we can ask questions and we can go. The person that write the policy. Go ahead.
So I think the best way to make this happen, I'm not an expert in it yet, but I think knowing the mentality of Nigerians, and they are education averse in the sense that you tell them that, once you get the money, you should go and get this training at this board, this commodity board, they will not go. But if you tie the training to the funds, and you say, okay,
not even the fund, tie it to renewal of their license, because my husband here, to renew his license, his business license, he have to do it's 6 hours or 3 to 6 hours or so of online training. Like, he had to do it and pass it. You don't have choice.
Yes, it is even, I'm looking at
Nigerians.
So you have
Nigerians.
From the point
you have to
from the point of where they think that you want to support their businesses financially. So if they come and say, you say you have to show me 6 hours of this as provided by the board of this Southwest region. Now, there has to be a verifiable means for the bank to verify that the certificate presented is true. So there has to be a database where the bank can confirm that, this person went through this thing and was there for 6 days. If you don't have that, Nigerians will create certificate to go and collect. They will not.
So that's why that can be fixed, because all you have to do is you don't need paper. Why should something that I did digitally, why should I transmit the result manual when I can pull the result electronically?
Nigeria, some things are still
don't let those people in Osun State hear you. Some part of Osun State hear me that you just said now. Don't let them hear you.
And the reason why is because when I work with some of those farmers, if you look at the phones in their hand, believe me, and they don't care. They are not looking for iPhone. They don't care about those things. But they cannot do those sophisticated things on phone. So you might have to work with them to do paper. But you need the paper to be verifiable. So they put it in, they go into the server of the Commodity Board of Southwest, and they see that he has done this, you have done this. And then we go through the other process of instrumental payment of how to do. And then you have a representative of the board that goes over there and manage and check and all that to make sure you are doing the right thing. So it is until you have finished plowing, then you come back and you say you need this amount. Then they go back, they go into the system again. They say, okay, the representative has approved you to go. And then they give you the money for seeding. And then once you say, okay, the representative shows that, okay, it is done too. And with pictures. And boom, that way. It might be slow, but it will get them into a mindset that, without working, you are not going to move forward.
Oh,
and then with the commodity, once your product is ready, you go to the commodity sells it for you, you get your money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
everybody's happy.
That way, everybody's happy. Everybody's ready to work and all that. So I think the policy has to be tailored in a way that considers the significance of Nigerian mindset.
Exactly.
That if you leave too much room, they will take. If you give them one mile, they take 100 miles. So you have to guard your 1 mile. Make sure it's 1 mile they get. And when you are willing to give them 1 more mile, it is 1 more mile until they are used to that setting of. Then you can trust them. And I think societies like this were built like that. At some point,
okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, guys, we have questions. See, we normally we say we're going to just do maybe 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 10. But of course, we have missed Mama Susie so much. Now we're on 1 hour 40 minutes. Now we just have 5 minutes max. I have to end it like 5 minutes max. So, guys, what are your questions on? Please ask your questions as it relates to social programs. Social programs of the Ashwaju administration. Please ask your questions now before we call it a day.
I think that man out there writing all that,
hero something
and all that.
People are already addressed. Now I
want to let him understand that here we are talking about Ashwaju's program. It doesn't matter if Anambra, in your own view, does better than what we go by statistics, we go by what is out there in the public space, and you are welcome to go do that yourself too. And we are not going to engage in an argument with you. You are welcome to say a few things as long as you are not derogatory of our person. If you say that, it is allowed. But you are entitled to 1 vote. And you can influence other people to your own viewpoint. Ours is to educate people on what is awaiting them if Ashwaju wins, and we believe it's going to win. And yours is to do the other part. Now, there is no need for you to go and say all these other things about who wants to follow who and all that. You can keep that, but if you are disparaging, we take you out. We don't have time for that. We do this almost every week, and we see a lot of
questions. Who has questions?
While we are waiting for questions, talking of social programs, because me, I don't even have time for. My family already abused me since Daddy Free situation. They've already abused me, so I know not to go on social media and do that. Oh, seriously, my brother and my sister-in-law and my husband, they all it was only my mom that had my back a little bit. But so, social program, I want everybody to just consider something. Nobody's, I mentioned it when I started. I said it's also tied to your health, to population health, how healthy the society is. I don't believe that your health should be determined based on your geographic location. And while you are living in the city on your high horse might still, no matter how things are hard for us, while we might be like, there are people that actually have it worse. And when we are talking about all these social programs, we need to always think about people in our society that can't afford this. I'm sure every one of us have family members, extended family members that are struggling. And yes, I understand things are difficult, but this is not just a Nigerian thing. Maybe our economic and financial instability sort of also, with the COVID and all this stuff happening, compounded it and made it worse. But we need to know that things are actually, in my opinion, better than what it was. It could have been worse. I mean, we used to sell oil for $100. I know people will say, well, Buhari is selling oil now for $100, except that no, oil didn't start selling for 100 until mid last year.
No.
And
no.
Not even mid last year, it's actually later than that.
No. Come back, Wally, come back. Now, before the Buhari's regime, oil was selling for as high as $140.
Yes.
So now, since when Buhari came on board, oil dropped to about $20 to $25.
Now, yeah. The max was $30.
There was one time that oil futures was selling for less than $0.
Yeah, I remember.
In this world that we are living in.
Yes.
And the highest that it has gone to in recent times is maybe 85.
No, $85. Yeah.
So it has no, and it's just
no, it's not. Yes.
Last year.
It's mid last year, and even with that, we now had other issues.
Because of
exactly.
the
Ukraine war. That was why. And even with that, we now had other issues of oil theft. That you know. So which, at least with Tompolo coming on board now and Nigerian Navy, they've been able to. Yeah, it's gone back.
From 900,000 barrels per day, that's gone up to 1.6 million barrels per day. With signing that on contract.
If you are wondering, like, why is it? Maybe you might want to ask yourself some certain questions. That why is it that when certain people speak against what is going on, like, why is it that those people they all of a sudden start having people of blemished characters start saying we don't want them there? You might want to ask yourself why the person saying whether you like it or not, I'm removing the subsidy because nobody is benefiting. The populace are not benefiting. I'm removing the subsidy. Even saying that to NLC, being in a town hall meeting with NLC that will say we don't want to do this, and they agreed with him. They still supported him.
Yes.
Or the person saying that whether you like it or not, we are not going to have the change of the gap between black market is one official. There shouldn't be anything like that. You know that there are some people that would fight when you try to fight the system is going to fight back.
Absolutely.
And while I'm not saying that the Labour Party candidate, because I'm not going to be calling names anymore, the Labour Party person, maybe in his own way, it can make change. The thing is that how much change, how effective is the change is going to have. This candidate that we are advocating for, he knows the drill. He knows the system in and out. He's been in it for a while. He's been a progressive all along. He's fought for the democracy that now give you and I right to come on here and spew whatever comes out of our mouth. Somebody actually had to go through that. Where was my own dad when they were running, when these people, Bola Tinubu and co, when they were actually fighting Abacha? Where was your own father and my own father? Why were they not out there fighting Abacha? Why didn't they go and face the guns now? But some people did that. They stood up to it at the expense of their own family. So where was Obi? Where was Atiku?
You've mentioned him at last, so you've mentioned.
I have to. Atiku was being friends with the government of the day and wherever it's going to benefit from. Likewise, the likes of Obi, they were nowhere to be found. But some people actually, at least if I don't believe anybody, I would believe Professor Wole Soyinka when he talked about what Asiwaju did, how he was able to use his knowledge, his mind, his brain to get them resources they needed to fight the government of Abacha through Nadeko. He was the one that came up the way for them to make money to do it at his own expense. His wife was here. I was listening to her 60-year birthday something, and she was talking about how, you know, for the longest time, they couldn't contact him. They don't even know. It was church that was helping them here. So he left his wife, his kids. It was the church that was helping them. So when we are talking, we need to also use that. Where was your own forefather when Nigeria was fighting for democracy? So you need to consider that. So yes, you can say I have my reservation and all that. Don't disparage people. That is what I'm trying to say. Mr. Olanrewaju, you can advocate for whoever you want to support, but please stop disparaging people or the people supporting those candidates. Support your candidate. Let me support mine. It is my right, my constitutional right to speak for myself.
I will tell you, don't worry, section 39 and section 40. Section 39, you see, I'm competing with you, Barrister Bisiri. I'm going to go on the bench.
I will compete.
Section 39, let me brag a little bit here. Give me my time, let me brag. People have been talking since. Section 39 says that, as in Nigeria, I'm paraphrasing here, you have the right to freedom of expression. And Section 40 says that you have the freedom of association to join and or support a political party. Or talks about voting and all of that. To stop trampling on people's constitutional rights. As Nigerians, as a Nigerian, I cannot trample on my constitutional rights. Me and you have the same rights as Nigerians. So a final word from you, Barrister Bisiriyu, and then I can round this up, because next week is going to be youth and women empowerment.
So I'm just going to say that we have been enjoying ourselves on this program since it started about almost 12 weeks ago. And we've seen all kinds of abuses and all kinds of disparaging comments, and some people have called us whatever they can. Unfortunately for them, whatever they say, they have just one vote. And what we do here is to encourage people to see why they should choose a particular candidate. And if they want to choose Obi or Atiku or Kwankwaso or Showore or Accord, they are at liberty to do that. And you don't, some of these people come, they say, why are you supporting an old man? And I ask that, why are you choosing who I should support for me? It's not your business who I support. If he's part of the candidates, why is it that's a problem? I have choice, and it's the one I'm choosing. Now, you have chosen a different one you think is younger. You think physical attribute is what makes a good leader. And history has told us that that's not the case. Churchill was very old when he became prime minister.
Right, yeah.
One of the most revered men in the world today, and he did it at an old age. Gandhi didn't become who he became with all the wisdom until he became a little bit older, and he was frail, and he didn't need to be a bricklayer or a WrestleMania actor who can jump from one place to the other for him to rule. So we know that the capacity to rule and lead is mental. It is not physical. And we know that if you have the habit of leading, it comes automatic. You don't even have to think about it. And the only person who has the habit of leading is Asiwaju, and he has led some of the finest minds you can think of in Nigeria. The other part they keep arguing is, these people are not his friends. I say, it is naturally impossible. Naturally, by nature, it is impossible for people with different kind of ideology to be together for 20 years. Bird of a feather flock together. If the light of Fashola is around him, or Shibajo is still around him, you have all these smart people around him for years, then something is right. We have candidates that people have abandoned. He's the only one I know that people abandon and come back when they go out there and see that it's not good. So we have a reason for us to support who we are supporting. We are doing it for Nigerians. We think he has the capacity to give more people with smart ideas the opportunity to do things. He has done it in the past. It's a habit. He will do it again on a larger scale in Nigeria. That's why we are doing what we are doing. We believe if other younger candidates could have given him the opportunity to take the primaries, although he fought, some of them had to say, oh, I give it up to you to do it. Go ahead. They gave up their own primary opportunity. It's because they saw something. They are all not stupid. So please, we are getting to the nitty-gritty of it. We ask that you be polite. Please follow your candidate. You don't have to be here. Our message may not be for you, but you don't have to disparage us. Stay in your lane if you don't like it, and we stay in our lane.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And on that note, I'd like to end today's episode. I want to thank Yetunde Yusuf. Thank you for coming today. We've missed you. We're glad that you're back.
Yeah, she's looking
and
Barrister
Bisiriyu, thank you very much.
Thank you. Always happy to be here.
And on that note, guys, do have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Next week, we'll be speaking on youth and women empowerment. You guys don't want to miss it, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.